now getting in the first visuals from Chhattisgarh, where the ED teams as well as the CRPF Jawans are conducting raids in connection with the coal scam. In fact, the raids which are taking place are at the locations which are linked to several influential politicians, businessmen and IS officers. We're given to understand that the Secretary Mining is also under the scanner of the Enforcement Directorate. So those are the details that are just trickling in. The raids that are being carried out by the Enforcement Directorate as well as the CRPF Jawans who are also a part of the raids being carried out. The first visuals coming in right now of the ED raids which are underway in Chhattisgarh as we speak. These searches are being conducted in Ashok Tower and Ishwarya Kingdom in Shankar Nagar. So several of those IS officers, influential politicians and businessmen who are under the radar of the Enforcement Directorate. 20 teams of Enforcement Directorate, to be precise, are involved in the raids which are underway in Chhattisgarh as we speak. All right, we have our senior editor Shravan also joining us. Shravan, if you can give us more details on the ED raids which are underway in Chhattisgarh.
Well, in fact, these are the third set of searches that are being carried out by the Enforcement Directorate in the state of Chhattisgarh. This is pertaining to the coal scam. But this time, remember, top bureaucrats, influential officers are now under the scanner of the Enforcement Directorate. This comes after the arrest that was basically made by the Enforcement Directorate just about a couple of weeks ago, where one of the top bureaucrats, Chaurasia, was also arrested, someone who is considered to be extremely close to the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh. Now, the allegation essentially being that, there has been a syndicate that has been operating. The syndicate which basically takes cut money from those who have been procuring coal from the state of Chhattisgarh. In fact, each truck that was moving out of the state of Chhattisgarh, there was a cut money. And that money was being run by, those who were part of this entire syndicate. Now, it turns out that the Enforcement Directorate suspects that the top bureaucrats were also essentially aware of what was really happening on the ground. So that is the reason why the arrests have already taken place. Not the first bureaucrat that has come under the scanner. Several of these bureaucrats have been under the scanner. In fact, take a look at these latest images that are coming in from Raipur at this point in time, where I'm being told that the Secretary of Mining is also under the scanner of the Enforcement Directorate. What we do not know at this point in time is whether at all there has been any recovery that has been made by the Enforcement Directorate. Perhaps in a short while from now, more information likely to come in from the Enforcement Directorate with regards to whether at all they have been able to recover anything in terms of unaccounted cash, or for that matter, any documents that have been seized by them.
Yes, Shravan, stay with us. Also, if you can throw some more light on, all of these IS officers who've been under scanner in connection with this, because we're given to understand that not just IS officer, in fact, several of those influential politicians also were under the radar of the ED.
Well, at this point in time, Samiksha, there is no word about any politician. Having said that, there are certain political links that are basically emerging. Low-level political workers who have been part of the syndicate and who are essentially collecting the money on behalf of the bureaucrats. That's what we do know at this point in time. No major political names so far has surfaced in the investigation that has been carried out by the Enforcement Directorate. Perhaps even if they have, the agency has been quite tight-lipped about the political links. But what is abundantly clear is that top bureaucrats of the state were certainly involved, or allegedly involved, is what we are given to understand by way of sources within the Enforcement Directorate. They are essentially indicating that this syndicate had the blessing of top bureaucrats. They allowed this extortion to actually take place. At this point in time, we do not have the exact figures, but if I remember correctly, Samiksha, that each passing truck carrying the coal for various organizations was actually, they had to actually pay money in order to move out of the state
state of Chhattisgarh. So after procuring of coal, there was a set, a cut money that was actually given to the bureaucrats through these workers who were part of the syndicate, and they've been operating for over a year is what we are being told. And roughly the amount that we are looking at is more than about 500 crore scam at this point in time. The number could certainly change given the fact that in the previous searches that were carried out, they had basically come across unaccounted cash, plus also diary entries were also found out, where they basically came across the fact that several of these bureaucrats were named, or there were initials of these bureaucrats in those diary entries.
All right, Shravan, we'll leave it at that. We'll keep coming back to you for more developments on that.